Many people that identify as homosexual are unaware of the fact that there is truly a homosexual agenda. Many people that identify as heterosexual are misled into believing that the homosexual agenda is the ultimate weapon being used to control the population. The Akawu tells us that, whether intentional or unintentional, planned or spontaneous, every human action is a counter-action to a previous action or an anticipated action. A homosexual agenda is only one tool in the white supremacist arsenal. The goal of the white supremacist is to remain in power and to acquire power where he has none. So, unlike the masses of the commercially conscious community, yes, there is a commercial black conscious community as well as an alternative or underground conscious community. The white supremacist uses every available weapon to meet his objective. While we appear to merely focus on one issue that falls under the umbrella of white supremacy, at a time, there are other weapons being created and used against us that we have no knowledge of. The counter-actions we can use to defend against the homosexual agenda include the intentional practice of successful heterosexual relationships, polygamy, and simply procreation at a rate too fast for the crackers to keep up with. We can also take control of the production of our own food and medicine as well as control of our own water supply. Heterosexual and suspected homosexual scientists admit that the food and water supply have high levels of estrogen, which counteracts the natural testosterone in men and estrogen in women. Some naively think that a vegan lifestyle is the solution, but many vegans are homosexual. We can take our children out of schools and take TVs, computers, and radios out of our homes. These are basic counter-actions. But, for many people, these actions are too radical and unrealistically unreasonable. While the enemy makes, by any means necessary, movements, we merely make, path of the least resistance, movements. So are we really serious about combating these so-called agendas? Or, are we merely rapping a lot? I believe that there has always been homosexuality just as there have always been left-handed people or left-brained individuals. The white man's innumerable fears motivate him to use anything he can find already existing in the world as a weapon. He uses the very water that people drink as a weapon. He uses the very food people eat as a weapon. He's used heterosexual behavior to spread disease, and he does the same with homosexual behavior. So while it is wise to defend ourselves against these weapons, we must also mount in defense. As we've stated many times before, those that stay in a defensive posture, no matter how good the defense, will eventually be hit and damaged, possibly irrevocably. The only true way to protect our people to any significant degree is to control the environment in which we live. Our culture is anti-self-preservation by accidental design. If we want to survive, we will acquire, build, establish, or take our own and defend it by every means necessary. If we are content to simply reform the current system, we will be fighting an uphill battle for many years to come. Is there a homosexual agenda? Of course there is, but don't be fooled into thinking that the end of homosexuality will, somehow, mark the end of the Black Holocaust. Long before there was any homosexual agenda, there was black genocide, nutricide, menticide, homicide, infanticide, and other agendas that persist still today. Remember, the white supremacy agenda is the umbrella agenda under which all other agendas in the white world order fall. This article was written by Daku Akabo wa Akatu.